Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded for women and women entrepreneurs, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships with mind mastery and meditation tools and techniques so that you can live the life that you're proud of. Welcome to today's podcast. Hello there, lovely ladies. It's your host, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that today's episode finds you happy and healthy. But in case you are not happy or healthy, this episode is dedicated to you. Today, it is my intention that you find one nugget that aids you in your journey to help ease the struggle just a little bit. So today, we're going to talk about my favorite topic, which is meditation. When I first learned about meditation, it was years and years and years ago. It was like 93. I went to a camp and we had, it was a speech and hearing camp because I had gone to school, to college in Traverse City to become a sign language interpreter. And I was hired at this camp that was a speech and hearing camp. A lot of deaf kids were there and they needed interpreters. So I was hired at this camp. And one of the things that we went and did as a counselor is every weekend they would have some activity, something around the local area. And this was way up in, not in the UP in Michigan, but in the north, Leelanau County. And we would go do something together as counselors and introduce new things and canoe and kayak and hike. And one of the things that we did was we went to a meditation, like a class. And it was up at Peterson Park. And if you ever get to northern Michigan and Leelanau County and north of Northport, Peterson Park is a beautiful park. And anyway, so they had mats laid out for us and they were teaching us meditation. And I was probably, 20, 22, 23 years old. And the interesting thing about this is I had a hard time at that point in my life being quiet. That there was something about being quiet that made me giggle. And I was with my friend Karen, and all we could do was laugh through the entire class. Giggling, laughing. I think someone was, as we're doing like these different yoga positions and the teacher is talking to us about meditation and quieting the mind. And she's just the way that she is talking somehow struck a giggle chord. And me and my friend Karen, we spent the whole entire time laughing. And I'm pretty sure that by the end of the class, the meditation teacher that was there was probably completely annoyed. But it's interesting that then 20 years later, I am all about meditation. I guess I just had to mature a little bit. So if you think in this moment, if you're still listening to this podcast in this episode and you're thinking meditation is stupid and it's only for these weird people or these tree huggers, it is totally a science connected with spirituality that can help you bring about anything that you want in your life. And it is so funny because it's not portrayed that way. It's portrayed in this kind of hokey dokey, holy moly, religious or highly spiritual, monks, Tibet, India. And it's just portrayed in this really weird, we're all gonna just look at the butterflies and smell the grass. And it's, to me, I'm very like down to earth and tough and I love outdoors, but to sit and do something gentle, like feel the breeze on my face, it made me kind of annoyed. And now the belief I have about meditation is it's all part of manifesting. It's all part of healing. It's a way to connect to the planet, give you a sense of belonging, a sense of peace, a sense of order in your life. And now I absolutely love it. But I think back then, the way it was portrayed was just not in a way that I could relate to. So my journey about meditation was all about wanting to manifest. When I started hearing about manifesting and the law of attraction, that was like something I latched onto and became obsessed with. My whole entire library in my house is full of like spiritual books and science that is about law of attraction and relating and healing and bringing about change in your life. My whole entire library, I have probably near 300 books. which doesn't, it sounds like a lot, but in all the books that I've read, in the books that I have over 200 books on my Kindle, and I have over, 250, 300 books physical in my house that I think of. I would say 90% of them are on personal development, leadership, relationships, making money, meditation, visualization, business, mind mastery, the subconscious mind, beliefs, pretty much anything that you can think of, personal development. But what I really wanted, what the thing was that I was struggling with in my life is that, I don't have any money, I don't have any friends or those really deep connections. I don't feel a sense that I belong here on this planet, which led to some suicidal tendencies and suicidal thoughts. Things would become a struggle, and I didn't have anyone to turn to. I didn't have anyone that I felt like really had my back. And so I wanted to really dig into manifesting, like, what does this mean? And can I really control my destiny? Can I really control the outcome of scenarios that I'm going through or experiences? Can I really have a say in my life? And I believe that statement is true and also false at the same time, meaning that you don't have control necessarily of your destiny, like what skills and talents and knowledge you came into on this planet. When you first were born, you were stamped with a certain skill set and a certain knowledge base. And now it is your job to fulfill that knowledge and those skills and to seek your truth. Like, what is your reason for being on this planet? That I do not believe you can change. Like, I have tried to get out of the personal development field. I love it, and it's everything. I'm so obsessed about it, and I just geek over it, right? And I learn, and I read, and I take courses, and you go down this one rabbit hole, and it completely turns into all these different areas. You talk about manifesting, well, then you talk about the law of attraction, you talk about meditation, you talk about brain waves, you talk about the subconscious mind, you talk about, leading, and then it gets into limiting beliefs and emotional intelligence. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And that's the journey that I've been on for years. And I'm 48 years old now, and I have been on that journey for years and years and years. But I could not get off of that journey. The times where my life, it got frustrating and the struggle was real, and I didn't have money, and I didn't have friends, and I had crappy relationships, and I wanted all of these things. I wanted happiness and health and relationships, and I wanted money, and I wanted freedom, and I just kept seeking it out in the physical world. So this job doesn't pay enough, and this relationship sucks. So I'm going to get into a different relationship. I'm going to get into a different job. And it just kept progressing. 37 jobs later and a handful of relationships later, I still don't have it. And then I started hearing about meditation. And I'm thinking, God, well, what do I have to lose? Maybe there is something bigger than me. Maybe this isn't just all there is. Maybe there is something greater in this life. Something greater than just this physical carcass that I'm carrying around. Maybe there is some more depth. And I'm telling you, if you are listening to this and you are not feeling good about your life, and you are not feeling healthy or feeling strong or confident or even comfortable, or you're not feeling abundant, that this podcast, this episode is for you. Meditation can be your foundation. Don't look at it as this hokey dokey, holy moly thing. Look at it as this is you connecting with you. This is you connecting with your higher purpose. It's connecting with your soul. It's connecting with your spirit, your higher self, God, whatever. The bigger part of you that connects us all. And it's your own personal creativity. It's your own personal journey and perspective. So what meditation has become to me is it's this part of spirituality, and it's this part of this building my meditation station with things. Like, I like to buy things for it. So incense, statues, little trinkets, little things that feel beautiful or connect me to Mother Earth in some way, or connect me spiritually in some fashion. And we'll talk about meditation stations later. And if you're interested in learning more about meditation products and building your station and creating rituals, then join me on my Facebook group that's called the Meditation Room TC, and it's for Traverse City, because that's where I live. So I think that when I started learning about it and started learning about manifesting and meditation, what I really wanted was to create. I wanted the power of creating my life by design. I wanted freedom. I wanted time. I wanted money. I wanted a great relationship. I wanted a family. I wanted to travel. And I didn't know how to do that by pushing the physical world around. So I started down this rabbit hole of what does meditation mean? And when I started practicing, when they would say, okay, get into a comfortable position and relax, breathe in, breathe out, focus on your breath, try to clear your mind. The things that I stumbled up against, the conflict or the wall that I started to hit was, I don't really know how to do this. I'm not able to clear my mind. I can't sit still. I have so much energy, as I'm sure that you can tell by my voice. And I can't find the time to do it. I can't sit still. I can't clear my mind. I don't really understand what I'm supposed to be doing. Focusing on my breath, how is that going to create more money in my life? So I moved further into meditation, and I was asking this question over and over again. I need something. I need to understand meditation. Like, what am I doing in my mind? And the meditation experts would say, you're calming your mind. And then I would say, okay, what am I supposed to be thinking about? And they'd say, you just focus on your breathing. I'm like, okay, well, I want to create in my life. And they would say, well, you just focus on your breath. Okay, that to me, I'd walk away and be like, that's stupid. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that still doesn't make any sense. And so I would go and I'd practice. I'd listen to Wayne Dyer. I'd listen to these guided meditations. I'd listen to Louise Hay. And I'd watch these YouTube videos, and I just completely geeked out on meditating and manifesting. And I still just didn't understand. And I would, quote, meditate, set the timer for 10 minutes, set the timer for 20 minutes. Sometimes I would just fall asleep, and I'd wake up after, the timer would go off, and I'd be like, did I do it? Did I meditate? And I couldn't answer that question with a resounding yes. So I kept asking, I need something. I need to understand what I'm supposed to be doing, because I feel this sense in my body, in my whole being, that I want time and money freedom. I wanted to be free to drive my car. As the analogy is, I love to drive, but I wanted to be in control of my life. I know what my purpose is here on this planet, but I can't seem to create anything. Like, I want to create courses. I want to create a group and a community of women and women entrepreneurs that are going somewhere, that want this community, that we lift each other up. We support each other through our struggles and our successes. I want that. How in the world do I create it? And I want more money to give back to my family and my wife, so we can travel and we can go places and do things. And I kept hitting I don't understand what I'm doing. So I had gone to this bookstore, a friend of mine who created a bookstore. He gets all these books for free or major discount, and then he sold them in his store for $1. So I would go there, and I would walk out of there with, 30, 40, 50 books. I mean, I'm spending $50 on 50 books. If you are a book lover, which if you are an entrepreneur, then you are a book lover. And you probably know that you go to a bookstore that sells brand new books, you are spending $1,000 on 50 books. But here, maybe not 1,000. You're spending a lot of money on. I mean, that could be $200, $300. So I'm spending $50 on 50 books, and it's all personal development, everything. So anyway, so I'm walking down this aisle and I keep asking, what is it? What am I supposed to be doing? What does meditation mean? And this book, I have it in my hand currently. This book, literally, I'm not kidding you guys, fell off the shelf as soon as I walked by and landed cover side up at my feet. And this book is changed my life forever in the area of meditation. This was my wow, are you joking? What is this book? And it's called Awakening the Mind by Anna Wise. And it is a guide to mastering the power of your brainwaves. Now, if I would have just seen this book on the shelf, I would think, what in the world does brainwaves have to do with meditation? And this was my introduction. Now, let me just explain something to you, that if you are struggling with meditation, except nobody's struggling with meditation, we're struggling with what we're trying to create. You're trying to heal your body. You're trying to find love. You're trying to make money. You're trying to increase your business, increase your family life, your quality time, but your quality of life. What do brain waves have to do with that? Right now, while you're listening to this audio, you are probably in the beta brainwave. Okay, that's the most alert. I'm not going to go into big depth because you don't need big depth as far as brainwaves go. But as far as like mastering your mind, this is the foundation. Your beta brainwave is the most alert, the most awake. So when you're up, you're moving around, you're doing things, you're hanging out with your kids, you're hanging out with your spouse, you're doing the dishes, you're reading, you're watching TV, whatever. This is when you are like the most awake. Nothing happens in the beta brainwave state other than you are reacting to your environment. You solve problems logically at this state. The next brainwave, as you are relaxed, let's say you're laying on the couch, it's Thanksgiving, the football game's on, and you're just kind of starting to fall asleep a little bit, but you're not so much asleep that you could go, like somebody could be talking about you in the kitchen and you could totally tune in to what they're saying, or you could totally go stay awake or go to sleep. This is called the alpha brainwave. And this is a relaxed state. So you can problem solve from here. You can create things from here. You can certainly relax. You can heal the body from this state. The next one that's a little bit deeper is theta. And this one's my favorite. And I'm going to give you your exercise for today to practice. And theta is you're really, really in a sleepy state. You're in a highly suggestible state for your subconscious mind to get information, to change beliefs, to heal the body, to create from this point, to problem solve, create something that you want in your life. And that happens from this state, your theta brainwave state. To me, beta goes out into the world and finds things and experiences things and said, I like this or I don't like this. You're like sifting through the world and saying, I want more of this and less of this. I want a car that is very dependable. I want a relationship that is sexy and fun. I want a job that is engaging and motivational. And then I don't want this and I don't want that, right? That's where you're out in the world in the beta brainwave and you're just deciphering what the things you want and the things that you don't want. Your alpha brainwave state is the communication gap between the things that you want or don't want from the beta brainwave to theta, which now in the alpha brainwave state is you're bringing those things that you want or don't want, you're trying to create. You want more money, you want your business to grow, and you bring them into theta, which then communicates with your higher self. Now, I'm not going to say this in any kind of a hokey dokey way. What I want to do is I want to express to you that this is scientific. Brain waves are science. The vibration and the vibrational frequency of the brain waves is also science. When people talk about meditation, they talk about it in this like theory and philosophy and may or may not work and manifesting and we just breathe in the trees. No, there's a science. So to me, when I talk about brain waves and the subconscious mind, and I talk about meditation, those things go hand in hand. Like I'm linking my fingers together, like I'm weaving my fingers together, right? This is science and spirituality where they come together and create power. Now, we all think of science as what? It's truth. If I do this and this, I get this. If I mix this and this, it creates this item. Okay? So we like science as a human race. We love science because science speaks the truth. If I'm going to put a recipe together, I use a 1/4 teaspoon of this, a cup of that, a bunch of these, and a sprinkle of that, and it creates this food item that's awesome. If I change that recipe, I get a completely different result. If I am in beta brainwave and I'm trying to meditate, I'm not going to get a result because I'm not in the right brainwave. So when you go to meditate, that's why you have to relax. Oh, okay. So now if I understand these different brain waves and how I can create a scenario or a situation that I get into alpha and I get into theta, that's what I'm doing. However, the trick is to stay in theta and to not dive all the way into delta, which is when you are fully asleep. So I have created what's called theta naps. And this is a way for you to kind of set the intention. If you listen to my other podcast about intention setting, if you haven't, then you can stop this one and go listen to that one about setting the intention. But when you go, let's just say you're going to go practice a theta nap. You have a big problem or you have a decision to make and you want some solutions, you want an answer, you're going to go take a theta nap. Now, what that means is I'm going to go lay down, or I'm going to go sit down, or I'm going to go in my meditation space, or I'm going to go sit in this chair, whatever, a place so you can go and relax. You can meditate anywhere. The object is for you to get into this theta state. So you get into the theta state by taking this nap. So see my quotes in my hands, taking this nap. And you are going to basically relax. You're going to take a nap, but you're still going to be somewhat aware of your surroundings. So here's how this alpha is like, I can hear the people out there talking about me, and I can feel the comfort of like laying on the couch or sitting in the chair. When you're in theta, you are aware of the quiet surroundings. Like, I know that I'm in my bedroom, or I know that I'm sitting in the chair. And then you're aware of the deeper mind, like this dreamy state. That's theta versus I'm aware of the noise and the chaos and my environment. Does that make sense? Because theta is I'm aware of sort of my environment, but not really the people in it. Like I know that I'm in the bedroom, and then I'm aware of my deeper mind. That's theta. Now that's you understanding, oh, like as I'm just starting to fall asleep, I can feel the comfort of my bed, and I know that I'm heading into dreamland. I know that I'm falling asleep. That's theta. And you can decide to stay in that space. Stay in that dreamy-like space and not decide to go to sleep. Okay? That's what I coined as the named theta naps. Now, what do I do? How do I practice? Here's my challenge for you. Here's what I started doing is, in order to master meditation, but master my mind and being able to problem solve, being able to make a decision, finding out what decision is best for me and the good of my family or the good of all. And then the other is to create things. Like I want to make more money. I want to bring in coaching clients. I want to find the right book, or I want to create, I don't know, a date night for me and Amy or something. But I'm trying to create something. So I would go take a theta nap. And we'll get into visualizing and what you do, but this is just the practice of theta naps. And what you're going to do is you're going to relax into that state, and you're going to set your timer for 10 minutes, probably to start, maybe even 5 minutes. And you're going to go get comfortable. And you can get in bed. Like, I can do this in bed, but I'm setting the intention that I'm not going to fall asleep, which is why I say I intend to take a theta nap. I'm going to take a 10-minute theta nap for this purpose. I want to be able to make the best decision regarding these two things, or I want to get a solution to this particular problem. So you're setting the intention. So your subconscious mind's like, oh, okay, we're not going to bed. Okay. So then that was my plan. I'm just going to practice these theta naps throughout the day or throughout the week, whatever you decide. And it started working. I'm setting my timer. I would say for me, I started at 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. And then I went to 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to practice this. Let's go practice this. And so you could do it in your car. If you're on lunch break or something like that, if you're at work, you can do this, wherever. You can sit outside, anything, anywhere. And I would take these simple problems and I would say, okay, I'm going to take this theta nap. And then by the time I would wake up from this theta nap, I had a solution. I had a decision. I was creating something. And I knew that I had meditated because I was up and I was like, oh, I felt amazing. I felt energized. And I also felt confident in the solution, in the process. Like at the end, I'm like, I did it. So it's like you go to a restaurant and you order a meal, you put the menu down, you hand it to the waiter, and off you go. And now you feel confident that within, 10 or 15, maybe 20 minutes, food is going to be brought in front of you, right? Well, it's the same thing. I do this thing for 20 minutes and I visualize this thing and I feel great about it, or I've taken this nap and I've mastered my mind, I've mastered this brainwave, and I'm like, oh, totally. I get up from this nap and I feel like I did it. I feel confident. So if you're trying to heal your body, if you're trying to manifest love, if you're trying to make a decision or find a solution to a problem, I encourage you and I challenge you to try to start taking these theta naps. Now, check out my YouTube channel where I have some guided meditations walk through. I have some audio programs that are in there to help guide you through this theta stage. and helping you to get there and to get relaxed. But you set the intention, you're going to be able to do it. Now, what did I achieve on the other end? Well, not only did I become successful at meditation, but I achieved, when I went in there, it's like, okay, I need a decision about this particular thing, or I want to manifest. I interviewed for this job as an assistant or as a manager in a chiropractic office, like the office manager in a chiropractic office. And I got the job. Like 3-4 days had gone by after the interview, and I interviewed with the doctor, and it was like, oh, I know I got it. But then, 3, 4, I think it was like 3 or 4 or 5 days goes by, and I'm like, I have to put in my part. I have to let the universe know I do want this job. Instead of waiting for something to happen, I decided to be proactive and share with the universe, this is what I want. And I took a theta nap, and I came out and I'm like, oh, I still feel doubt. So I did another one, and I took another nap, and I added some visual to it, and I added some action, and I added some words, and what would it be like if I had the job, and what would the good news feel like? And I'm not kidding you guys. If you're listening to this and you have any doubt, this is the absolute truth. When I came out of that, it was like the third meditation, and I sat upright, my phone started ringing, and with 100% confidence, it was face down, I did not see the screen. I flipped it over and I hit hello, knowing 100% that it was the doctor calling me to invite me to come work at his office. That's how powerful, that's how consistent, that, my dear friends, my dear ladies, if you are still listening to this, this is where it's at. This is where the power lies. Not out there in the physical world as beta pushing things around. It lies here in the theta brainwave. And I'm going to add a link in the description for you to go get this book on Amazon. This is Awakening the Mind, A Guide to Mastering the Power of Your Brainwaves by Anna Wise. And she has written a couple of books. They're both fantastic, but this one is going to give you some guided meditations, some walkthroughs, and some real deep understanding of the brainwaves. So thank you very much for sticking with me. I challenge you to do this. And please come over to my Instagram page and my Facebook page and share with me if you are taking those theta naps. I'd love to hear what you have going on. Thanks for listening, and if you liked this episode, please take the time to like and share. Also, please visit me on my other social media pages. I'm on Instagram, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. I'm on Facebook, where we have this community titled Life Mastery Decoded, and it's a community of women and women entrepreneurs where we come together to support one another in sharing our successes and struggles. You can also check out my YouTube channel, where I share my teachings and my personal journey, and it's simply titled Jen Mack, Jenmac. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you.